What's up, YouTube? Ahhmature here. I just want to do a little, driving home from work right now, I want to do a little video, because I guess, if you think about it, a lot of people, they obviously compare, Raid, to Summoner's War, and so I thought I'd do a video on why I like Raid more than I like Summoner's War. It's kind of, for me, it's more about graphics and artwork, I guess. It's obviously it's got the more realistic aspect. It's not so much cartoons, or little animated figures, whatever. So for me that's a big difference. It's something I like more. I definitely think that there's more attention to detail and stuff on Raid. The dungeons and stuff, the dungeon bosses and stuff, just so much better looking for me. I really like them. I also feel like there's kind of more content for me. For instance, the masteries for your champions. So for those of you who don't know, masteries are it's got its own dungeon. For the Minotaur, and you can get these things called, your mastery scrolls. There's like a gray, a green, and then a red, and I think the red one's called Divine. I'm not sure what the green one's called, but off the top of my head. And each champion has, every champion has the same. There's 3 sets of masteries you can learn. There's offense, defense, and support. And under each of those, you can choose 2 out of each row, except for the first one you can choose 1, and the last one you can choose 1. Then you can choose 2 out of each row, or from there out of 2 columns. So you can either do attack and support, attack and defense, defense and support, and go from there. And you can max out one of them, and then the second one you can almost max out. And now what that does is it adds like I think the first one for support, I think, is you get like 840 HP. The first one for attack is like, you can either do get plus so much attack or plus so much crit damage. And then for defense, it's like gain so much defense or, add, I think it's 40 resistance, and you can choose between all these. And so it's just another way to beef up your character. Instead of runes, it's called artifacts. It's like gear for your guy. So it's like you get a weapon, a helmet, a chest plate. It doesn't change the look of your character at all, but it just it's like runes. So you put that on, and it's same thing, star based and rarity based. There's no legendaries in Raid yet. They're coming soon, I think, from what I read on the forums. But so you just level those up same way. It goes max out at 16. Every 4 levels you can get an additional substat. If you have an epic, you already have 3 substats, so then it just makes every 4 levels it just adds one of those substats. It just makes one of them more powerful. And then on top of the artifacts, so you get 6 of those, they then added 3 accessories. I believe it's a ring, a necklace, and a banner. And they are exclusive to your champion. And what I mean by that is, like, so each champion is classified as has its own like class, if you will. So it's like or barbarian, or demon spawn, or lizardmen, high elves, dark elves. They got different classes like that. And I think it's a really fascinating system, really awesome system, and it kind of left open, you can do different varieties of artwork for everybody. One thing that really discouraged me on Summoner's War was the monsters. Okay, I dislike monsters on Summoner's War so much. I think some of them look cool, and their effects, obviously, stuff like that, great for that game and whatnot. I get that, but I really dislike their system in terms of, so you have one monster with 5 colors, and that's just it's stupid, in my opinion. I don't want to offend anybody here. But I just think that if you're gonna give me like a pirate, and then you have a galleon and you got the red pirate, the yellow pirate, the fire, water, wind, and then you got the light and the dark, right? And the light and darks are obviously super hard to get, blah blah blah. But I just think that it's a broken system because they made it so they don't have the same skills, right? And which I kind of understand in terms of, like, you know, you want more variety to the game or whatever. But I just think it's like, oh well, just, you know, Galleon is the best one you can get. So it's like, oh, you get the red one, and you're like, great, you know, I didn't get the best one, and you can get the same red one like 3 different times, and it's like, oh great, you know. And, you know, and I also feel like I just think that it's just the artwork is the same for all of them, and it's not different at all. So it's like you're kind of just getting the same thing over and over again, just in a different color. And to me, it's just I don't know. There's not a better word for it other than lazy, I guess. I just feel like they could have done more with that, and so that bothers me about Summoner's War. I like the runes and everything, and I like how they have grindstones, and you can, you know, buff up your substats even more, you know, and they have so many ways to beef up your heroes in Summoner's War, and I that's awesome and stuff. And I mean, there's a lot of content to it, always something to do. But again, it comes down to just I don't like the way the heroes are, you know, being that it's the same hero for just 5 different colors, you know, and you have a 1 in 5 chance, I guess, to get the right one, and then on top of that, you don't even have a chance to get the light or dark, or you don't have a high chance of getting light and darks, and some of those are even the best ones you can get. And so those are, I mean, and I get that it's like, you know, they want you to always have interest in the game, always something to work for. But I put $2,000 into that game, and I only have ever gotten like 4 Nat 5s, I think, maybe even 3, and one of them was because of a Transcendent Scroll. Now, I don't care about the fact that I put $2,000 in. Like, I'm happy I did it. Like, it was a fun game. I was really into it, but I like Raid way more. I like just like I've been explaining. I like the characters more. And a big thing for me too is the 3 stars in Summoner's War. I kind of felt like 70% of them, maybe even higher, 80%, were useless in that game. You know, they were enough to get you through, but in Raid, they've made the 3 stars kind of relevant. You know, in a sense that they can take you very far. You know, and you know, they reward you, I feel like, in Raid a lot better. Give you, you know, better chances to do stuff. With the heroes you have for the people that, you know, obviously don't put money into the game, which is awesome. You know, they made free to play very fun even. And you can choose you get like a choice of like 4 champions at the beginning, and which one you want to play as, or like not which one you want to play as, but like which one you want to keep. And for anybody that doesn't, I would always choose Ethel, but that's kind of like a personal opinion, I guess. But you know, but they leave you with some good ones, some good rares right off the bat. You know, and they give you relevant 3 stars, and then it's kind of, you know, easier to summon them, and which makes it easy to beef up their skills too. So like, you know, you can just fuse them together and, you know, level up their skills so that, you know, it's like, oh, it minuses a cooldown, or adds 5% damage, or 5% buff or debuff, and then, you know, 10% damage and stuff like that. So it's, you know, it's a lot easier to level up your rares than I feel like it was to do any of that in Summoner's War, and you always we're struggling with that. Same with your epics. I just feel like you get more 3 stars and 4 stars in this game than you do in Summoner's War, and it just feels a little bit more rewarding and feels like you can go farther. But the content at the end is tougher, or more tough, if you will, because I don't know if, you know, tougher is a real word, but so I just think there's way more to raid. Each dungeon goes up to level 15 and stuff, so it's like, you know you're always gonna have a challenge, but you know, you can use a rare and actually make it somewhere in the game with him. And some of them are even end content players, I want to say. There's maybe 2 of them. Really good in the arena, like Executioner. I mean, he's pretty decent in the arena. And then really good for farming. So, but but anyways, rares are relevant, I think, in this game more so than Summer's War. So, and there are other games out there. This video is specifically for why I like Raid over Summer's War. Why I would choose to play Raid over Summer's War any day of the week. But yeah, just my opinion. Again, I didn't want to offend anybody. Just leave your comments below and let me know what you think is better and why. I'm very interested in knowing why. So please, go ahead and share the content, like what you're thinking with me. Leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Thanks, guys.